It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Niccolo Machiavelli. You feel taken for granted, don't you? Like your kindness is a weakness, your reliability is a given, and your boundaries are a suggestion. You are the nice one, the one who never says no, the one who always keeps the peace. But your niceness is not earning you respect. It is costing you your power. And you are slowly and silently disappearing. In the next few minutes, you will gain the power of a political strategist. You will learn how to command respect, how to set boundaries that are never crossed, and how to finally and completely reclaim your authority. And you'll soon know the difference between being liked for your compliance and being respected for your strength. Part 1. The tyranny of niceness. You feel it, don't you? That constant nagging feeling that you are being taken for granted. You are the nice one, the reliable one, the one who always says yes. You are the one who avoids conflict, who smooths things over, who swallows your own needs to keep the peace. But instead of being appreciated, you are being disrespected. Your boundaries are being ignored. Your kindness is being mistaken for weakness. And you are slowly, quietly, and invisibly disappearing. Therefore, you are not just being too nice. You are participating in your own erasure. And the respect you crave will never be given to you because you have not yet learned how to command it. This is not a game of thrones, but the principles are the same. The great and often misunderstood political philosopher Niccolo Machiavelli knew this. He was not a monster. He was a realist. He understood that human nature is not always noble, that people are often driven by self-interest, and that in the game of power, respect is not a gift. It is a currency that must be earned, and sometimes it must be taken. And his most famous and most controversial piece of advice is the key to unlocking the respect you deserve. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Now, before you recoil, let's be very clear. Machiavelli was not advocating for tyranny, for cruelty, for becoming a monster. He was talking about a very specific kind of fear. Not the fear of a violent, unpredictable tyrant, but the fear of a just, consistent, and powerful leader. It is the fear of consequences. It is the fear of crossing a line that has been clearly and calmly drawn in the sand. It is the fear of losing the respect of someone whose respect you value. It is the fear of being seen as a fool. This is not terror. It is a profound and powerful form of respect. Think about the people you respect the most. Are they the ones who are always trying to please you, who are always agreeing with you, who are always available to you? Or are they the ones who have a strong sense of their own worth, who have clear boundaries, who are not afraid to disagree with you, to challenge you, to say no to you? The people we truly respect are the ones who respect themselves. They are the ones who have a quiet, unshakable authority that comes not from their title or their position, but from their own inner alignment. They are the ones who have mastered the art of being feared without being hated. And this is the art that you must now learn. Because your niceness, your people-pleasing, your conflict avoidance, it is not working. It is not making you loved. It is making you invisible. It is not earning you respect. It is earning you disrespect. And it is slowly but surely killing your soul. Therefore, the journey you must now take is the journey from being the person who is loved for their compliance to being the person who is respected for their strength. It is the journey from being a pawn in someone else's game to becoming the master of your own. And that journey, my friend, begins with a single, radical, and terrifying act. the decision to stop being so damn nice. Part 2. The Art of Respectful Fear. Machiavelli's Toolkit. How do you cultivate this healthy, respectful fear? It is not about changing your personality. It is about changing your strategy. It is about understanding the subtle and often unconscious dance of power that is happening in every human interaction. And it begins with the mastery of strategic silence. In a world that is addicted to noise, to chatter, to the constant need to fill every available space with words, silence is a weapon. It is a form of power that is so subtle, so profound, and so effective that most people are completely unaware of its existence. When you are in a conversation and someone says something that is disrespectful or challenging or simply wrong, what is your first instinct? It is to react, to defend, to explain, to argue, to justify. But what if you did the opposite? What if you just got quiet? What if you just held their gaze for a beat longer than is comfortable and said nothing? In that silence, something powerful happens. The other person is forced to confront their own words, their own behavior. They are forced to sit in the discomfort of what they have just done. And you, by refusing to engage, by refusing to play the game, have just shifted the entire power dynamic. You have just communicated, without saying a word, that you are not a person who can be easily manipulated, that you are not a person who will tolerate disrespect, that you are a person who is in control not of them, but of yourself. This is not passive. It is an active and deeply powerful form of boundary setting. Another key to commanding respect is the principle of scarcity. We value what is rare. And if you are always available, always saying yes, always putting the needs of others before your own, you are making yourself common. You are making yourself cheap. You need to start treating your time, your energy, and your attention as the precious and limited resources that they are. This means saying no more often. No to the social invitation that you don't really want to accept. No to the extra project at work that you don't have the bandwidth for. No to the friend who is always asking for favors but is never there for you. Every time you say no to something that is not a priority for you, you are increasing your own value. You are teaching people that your time is not a free-for-all, that your energy is not a public utility, that your attention is a gift that must be earned. And then there is the art of unpredictability. People pleasers are predictable. They are reliable. They are safe. And that is why they are so often taken for granted. You need to start introducing a little bit of healthy, strategic unpredictability into your life. This doesn't mean being erratic or unreliable. It means not always being the one to smooth things over. It means sometimes letting there be an awkward silence. It means sometimes not having an immediate answer. It means sometimes saying, I need to think about that. You are communicating that you are a person who thinks for themselves, who is not afraid of a little bit of tension, who is not just going to go along to get along. You are communicating that you are a sovereign being, not a social automaton. But the most important principle of all is the one that Machiavelli himself understood so well. You must be feared without being hated. And the way you do that is by being just, by being consistent, by having a clear set of principles and values that you live by and that you hold others to. When you set a boundary, you must enforce it, not with anger, not with drama, but with a calm, quiet, and unshakable resolve. If you tell a friend that you will not tolerate them being late anymore, and they are late again, you must follow through with the consequence you have set. You must leave. You must end the dinner. You must communicate through your actions that your words have weight. This is not about punishing them. It is about teaching them how to treat you. It is about demonstrating that you respect yourself too much to allow yourself to be disrespected by others. This is the path to true authority. An authority that is not based on a title or a position or a threat of violence, but on a deep and abiding sense of your own worth. An authority that is so quiet, so solid, and so real that it commands respect without ever having to demand it. Therefore, the question is not whether you are capable of being feared. The question is, are you willing to do the work to become the kind of person whose respect is worth fearing to lose? Part 3. The inner game. Rewriting your psychological script. Now that you understand the strategy, the external game of power, it is time to look within. Because all the strategy in the world would not help you if, deep down, you do not believe you are worthy of respect. If you are still carrying the unconscious conditioning of a lifetime of people-pleasing, of conflict avoidance, of self-betrayal, therefore the root of the problem is not in your behavior. It is in your beliefs. And that is where the real transformation must begin. Many of us were taught from a very young age that our survival depended on being nice. We learned that saying no was selfish, that having our own needs was a burden, that disagreeing was a form of aggression. We were rewarded for our compliance, for our agreeableness, for our ability to make ourselves small and quiet and easy. And so we became experts at it. We became masters of self-abandonment. We learned to silence our own desires, to swallow our own anger, to betray our own truth, all for the sake of being loved, of being accepted, of not being abandoned. This is not a conscious choice. It is a survival strategy. A strategy that may have served you well in childhood, but that is now slowly and surely killing you. Because with every yes you say when you mean no, you are sending a message to yourself and to the world that your needs do not matter. With every conflict you avoid, you are teaching yourself that your truth is not worth fighting for. With every act of disrespect you tolerate, you are validating the belief that you are not worthy of respect. You are caught in a vicious cycle, a self-fulfilling prophecy, where your own behavior is constantly reinforcing your own deepest and most painful insecurities. Breaking this cycle requires a level of courage and self-honesty that is rare. It requires you to start observing yourself, to become a detective in your own life. Where do you silence yourself? In what situations do you feel that familiar, sickening feeling of self-betrayal? With whom do you feel the need to perform, to pretend, to be someone you are not? You must start to identify these moments, not with judgment, but with a fierce and loving curiosity. These are the crime scenes. These are the places where you are abandoning yourself, and you must start to make a different choice. It starts with small, almost imperceptible acts of courage. The courage to not immediately answer a text message. The courage to let there be a moment of silence in a conversation. The courage to say, "I don't know," instead of pretending to have an opinion. The courage to state your own preference, even if it is as simple as choosing the restaurant for dinner. Each of these small acts is a declaration of independence. It is a statement that you are a separate person, with your own thoughts, your own feelings, and your own needs. And with each of these small acts, you are slowly but surely rebuilding your own shattered sense of self. And as you begin to do this, something remarkable will happen. The people in your life will start to respond to you differently. Some of them will not like it. They will be used to the old you, the compliant you, the easy you, and they may push back. They may call you selfish or difficult or aggressive. And this will be your greatest test. Because in that moment, you will have to choose. You will have to choose between their comfort and your own truth. You will have to choose between being liked and being respected. And you will have to choose again and again to respect yourself enough to be willing to be disliked. But something else will happen too. You will start to attract a different kind of person into your life. A person who is not looking for a doormat, but for an equal. A person who is not intimidated by your strength, but who is inspired by it. A person who does not want you to be a reflection of them, but who wants you to be a full and glorious and unapologetic expression of yourself. And you will discover that the love you were so desperately seeking by being nice is a pale and pathetic imitation of the love that is available to you when you have the courage to be real. This is the journey from being a slave to the approval of others, to becoming the sovereign of your own life. It is the journey from seeking love to embodying it. It is the journey from being a victim to being a creator. And it is the only journey that will ever lead you to the deep and abiding and unshakable respect that you have been searching for your entire life. A respect that comes not from being feared, but from being, finally and completely, yourself. Part 4. The daily practice of power. 4 steps to reclaiming your authority. So, how do you put this into practice today? How do you start to build this new identity, this new way of being in the world? It is not about a dramatic, overnight transformation. It is about a series of small, consistent, and courageous choices. It is about a daily practice of self-respect. Here are 4 concrete and powerful ways to begin. First, the practice of the sacred no. Your no is one of the most powerful tools you have for creating a life that is your own. And you need to start using it, not as a weapon, but as a sacred instrument of self-care. Start by making a list of all the things you are currently saying yes to that are draining your energy, that are violating your values, that are simply not a priority for you. And then, one by one, you are going to start saying no. You will do it politely. You will do it respectfully, but you will do it firmly. You will not over-explain. You will not apologize. You will simply state your truth. Thank you for the invitation, but I won't be able to make it. Thank you for thinking of me for this project, but I don't have the bandwidth right now. I appreciate you sharing your opinion, but I see it differently. Your no is a boundary, and every time you honor it, you are teaching yourself and the world that you are not a resource to be exploited, but a sovereign being to be respected. Second, the art of the strategic pause. Before you respond to any request, any question, any provocation, you are going to give yourself the gift of a pause of 3 seconds, a pause of a minute, a pause of a day. In that pause, you are going to ask yourself a simple question. What is the most self-respecting response I can give right now? Not the nicest response, not the easiest response, not the response that will make the other person happy, the most self-respecting response. This simple practice will break the unconscious habit of immediate compliance. It will give you the space to choose your response, rather than just reacting from a place of fear or habit. And in that choice lies your power. Third, the discipline of as if. You are going to start acting as if you are a person who deeply respects themselves. How would a person who respects themselves walk into a room? How would they speak? What would they tolerate? What would they not tolerate? You are going to start embodying this person, even if you don't fully feel it yet. You are going to stand up a little straighter. You are going to speak a little more slowly, a little more deliberately. You are going to make eye contact. You are going to take up space. This is not about being fake. It is about being a visionary. You are creating a new reality for yourself by acting your way into a new way of being. You are literally and physically teaching your own nervous system what it feels like to be a person of power, of dignity, and of profound self-respect. And finally, the commitment to the inner circle. You are going to take a long, hard, and honest look at the people you spend the most time with. And you are going to ask yourself a brutal question. Do these people respect me? Do they value me? Do they want what is best for me? And if the answer is no, you are going to have to make some very difficult and very necessary choices. You cannot become a person of self-respect if you are surrounded by people who do not respect you. You cannot build a new identity if you are constantly being pulled back into an old one. This may mean ending some friendships. It may mean creating more distance in some family relationships. It will be painful. It will be hard. But it will also be the most liberating thing you have ever done, because you are finally choosing to surround yourself with people who see you, who celebrate you, and who reflect back to you the truth of your own magnificent worth. This is not a path for the faint of heart. It is a path of courage, of discipline, of a fierce and unwavering love for your own beautiful and imperfect soul. It is the path of becoming the kind of person you have always admired, but never believed you could be. It is the path of earning your own respect first, and then, as a natural and inevitable consequence, the respect of the world. And it is a path that is available to you. Right now, in this very moment, all you have to do is take the first step. Let's be clear. This is not a quick fix. This is a fundamental rewriting of your own internal operating system. It is a process of deconditioning and reconditioning. You are unlearning a lifetime of self-betrayal, and you are learning for the first time how to be your own greatest ally. There will be moments of doubt. There will be moments of fear. There will be moments when you will be tempted to go back to the old way, to the comfortable, familiar prison of being liked. And in those moments, you must remember this. The respect you are seeking is not a destination. It is a practice. It is a choice that you must make again and again in every interaction, in every conversation, in every moment of your life. And as you continue on this path, you will start to notice a profound shift, not just in how others treat you, but in how you feel about yourself. The constant, low-grade anxiety will begin to dissipate. The gnawing feeling of resentment will be replaced by a quiet sense of your own power. The desperate need for external validation will be supplanted by a deep and abiding sense of your own inner authority. You will start to feel a sense of solidity, of groundedness, of being at home in your own skin that you have never felt before. You will start to like yourself. You will start to trust yourself. You will start to respect yourself. And that, my friend, is the ultimate prize. Because when you have your own respect, the respect of others becomes a bonus, not a necessity. When you are no longer afraid of being disliked, you are finally free to be yourself. And when you are finally and completely yourself, you become a force of nature, a person of such quiet and powerful and authentic authority that you command respect without ever having to utter a single word. You become the person you were always meant to be. And that is a person who is not just respected, but who is truly and deeply and unapologetically free. This is the ultimate paradox of power. The more you chase it, the more it eludes you. The more you demand it, the less you have it. But the more you cultivate it within yourself, the more it is freely and willingly given to you by others. This is the difference between a tyrant and a leader. A tyrant rules by force. A leader leads by example. A tyrant creates followers out of fear. A leader creates followers out of inspiration. A tyrant is obsessed with controlling others. A leader is obsessed with mastering themselves. And the path you are now on is the path of leadership. The leadership of your own life. So, let's go deeper. Let's talk about the subtle and often invisible ways that you are giving away your power every single day. And let's talk about how to reclaim it. It begins with your language. The words you use are not just a reflection of your reality. They are the creators of it. Do you find yourself using phrases like, "I'm sorry, but," or "I just wanted to say," or "This might be a stupid question, but"? These are the phrases of a person who is apologizing for their own existence. They are a subconscious signal that you do not believe you have the right to take up space, to have an opinion, to ask a question. You must eliminate them from your vocabulary. You are not sorry. You do not just want to say something. And there are no stupid questions. You have a right to be here. You have a right to speak. And you must start speaking like it. Next, you must master your body language. Your body is communicating a story about you long before you ever open your mouth. Do you make yourself small? Do you cross your arms, hunch your shoulders, avoid eye contact? This is the body language of a person who is trying to hide, to disappear, to not be a threat. You must do the opposite. You must start to take up space. You must stand up straight, pull your shoulders back, and look people in the eye. You must learn to be comfortable with the discomfort of being seen. This is not about being aggressive. It is about being present. It is about communicating on a deep and primal level that you are here, that you are not afraid, and that you are worthy of being seen. And finally, you must learn to embrace conflict, not as a battle to be won, but as a conversation to be had. People pleasers are terrified of conflict. They see it as a sign of failure, as a threat to the relationship. But the truth is, conflict is not only inevitable, it is necessary. It is the process by which we negotiate our needs, clarify our boundaries, and deepen our intimacy. A relationship with no conflict is not a healthy relationship. It is a dead one. You must start to see conflict not as a threat, but as an opportunity. An opportunity to practice your new skills. An opportunity to speak your truth. An opportunity to build a stronger, more honest, and more resilient connection with the people in your life. This is the work. It is the daily and often unglamorous practice of choosing yourself, of choosing your truth, of choosing your own deepest and most profound self-respect. It is the work of becoming a person of substance, of integrity, of power. And it is the work that will, finally and forever, set you free.